Sometimes what happens, suddenly some flow might come out of me to give you like a small talk or some tips about meditation, what happens. Oh, that suddenly comes. I cannot plan and say it's going to happen like this. So that is one of the reason that sometime 10 minutes earlier also I also joined the meeting. I try to be with you all. Some of the points, like in this world, almost all the things that we have discovered or invented, things like giant machineries and giant constructions, so many things, not one or two, hundreds and thousands. We have created, means humans, we human beings have created them. But when it has grown, hundreds and thousands of potency more than us, we would have dwarfed ourselves in front of that. Now, two things that challenging. One is we have to handle any such huge structures very skillfully, carefully, so that we don't get hurt. Whether it's moving any engine or any constructions, any dams, any bridges, anything in this world. This is one important thing. We have to move skillfully, concentrate our mind while dealing with such things. And in spite of all this, sometimes these things can hurt us accidentally also. Any accident can happen, then also we are in a danger. It can be fatal, anything it can be. Though it is we who have created them, but now if it has grown above our energies and powers and skills, then we have dwarfed. In the same way, the enormous consciousness which arose from the Parabrahman, which created this universe, slowly got diluted, incarnation after incarnation. So now we are in the form of dwarf, like an ant sticking to the big earth. This universe, this Milky Ways, galaxies, everything, we are so small. While living in this world, we have to move skillfully so that we don't get hurt both physically and very particularly mentally. If we get hurt mentally, then we lose our peace and there is enormous stress, the tension, fear, all crops up, engulfs us. This is one thing. For this we have to move skillfully, we have to learn. One is physically we should be careful to keep us as healthy as possible, and mentally is the thing why the spiritual sadhanas have been prescribed. Like meditating regularly, if we are meditating, mentally we go stronger. Because when our mind becomes more and more concentrated, and then it can become stronger. You have to grow like this. Finally, when you are able to do tapas and grow to the level of the first consciousness which arose from the ultimate divinity to create the universe, to that power when you go, then you can merge with the divine itself, getting rid of all the entire universe effects of good and bad, happiness, unhappiness, of danger and safety, everything. That by that time we would have realized we are not this physical body that we have assumed now. Because we have assumed this physical body as ourselves, we have dwarfed ourselves in front of the universe. In this physical body we are just nothing. Anything can happen, any small brick can break our head, and it can be a fatal accident. Apart from our own skills, often we can meet any accident also. Suddenly an earthquake can happen, and we might be in the midst of an tsunami or a flood or any such thing. This is accidental. When the nature grows in such anger, so when it operates, so then even if we are innocent also, we meet an accident and we can be die and we can be hurt, anything can happen. So now to deal with this world, mentally we need to be strong. Anything that happens, first important thing, we need to exercise patience. We must not lose patience. If we lose patience, we are going to hurt ourselves more and more. We get involved and this world is going to hurt us more. People behaving in their own way surrounding us. So we expect somebody to behave properly and they don't behave with us and we are hurt. And once we are hurt means it can continue for days and months and sometimes years. We might be feeling stressful and we are unable to forget and let go the things also. So we lose our peace and we get confused, don't know how to deal with it. So we keep crying and we want to bang our head onto walls. We feel so helpless. For that, even if we are happy also, we must meditate. Regularly if we meditate, just by watching in between eyebrows, then the mind concentrates, it gathers. Just like we create a forest jungle and in the midst we create ourselves as a small animal. So how helpless we will be in the midst of that forest, not knowing the way out. Simply we are going round and round and round. Like that. That is why this world, this universe is called as Bhava Sagara. In the spiritual languages of Indian culture, Bhava Sagara means by the effect of mind's feelings that we have dwarfed ourselves and created a much more higher powerful thing. And after that we have dwarfed our death and thus we have got involved. For that I have told the example also, when your mind thinks, a thought appears. Watching that thought, we forget this thought is there because of our imagination. Instead, we consider that thought to be a reality and get involved emotionally with that thought. That is what is Bhava Sagara, with feeling, with our own emotions. That thought, if that thought is a good, we become happy. If that thought is a bad, we become unhappy with that. Along with the thought, we become so stressful and we lose our peace. We keep wondering why this world is like this, why people are like this. They are like this only. That's what Swamiji used to tell. Don't worry, you just think by that person's buddhi is that is all. You don't have to lose your peace. You just take care of your own peace and happiness. Just be quiet. Look for an opportunity, skillfully keep moving. How to get rid of this effect of this universe now. So that is the meditation can be helpful to help you to reach to that level of consciousness when you would have created as a Brahma this entire universe. Many more such universes you would have created. So if you go higher level, through the practice of meditation, when the mind gathers, life after life, you practice, then one life you are able to do tapas for long years, for some years. When you do tapas, then you rise to the divinity level. Then you get rid of this universe, everything melts, dissolves, which you cannot believe now even if I tell you, because we experienced in deeper samadhi only the entire universe dissolving. Now also this universe appears very vague, like a vague dream. A picture is there, but it doesn't register in my consciousness as any reality. So we are able to remain unaffected by this world. At this time, some people ask, are you insensitive to the suffering of the world? We are not insensitive. We can become compassionate. We do become. If somebody prays, somebody is suffering, somebody wants us to bless them, somebody wants us to pray for them, we pray to Divine Guru to bless such people, to enable them to undertake more spiritual practices. Because if you are always worried and into trouble, it becomes so difficult to undertake spiritual exercises also. You need some comfort. That's what Swamiji used to tell. You see, as yogis, we have to help people to overcome their worldly troubles, problems also, so that they can slowly pick up meditation, and one day they will rise above that level, and then they are able to overcome and achieve supreme peace. And in that process, they would have achieved to know yourself, know that we are that immortal soul. So now, actually, the truth is that we are that immortal soul, which is so powerful than this universe, the entire creation, how many universes it might be. But we have dwarfed ourselves by imaginations. Just like getting with the thought of the mind, you lose your peace. You can become emotional with that thought. You start dancing with that thought, going round and round along with that thought. You become stressful, you become unhappy, you become fearful, you don't know what to do. You want somebody to help, some guru to bless you. So that is the need of meditation, why this happens. So much of psychologically we have affected ourselves and got involved into this bhava bandhana, bhava sagara. In feeling, we have binded ourselves into the feelings of our own consciousness. So that is why we have to meditate. A meditation is recommended, and all of you have to work so that you can silence your mind first. That is the first step. For this silencing of the mind, take care that bodily you do not move. For that, you sit in any comfortable posture, no problem. You can sit on a chair, you can sit on the ground, whatever is possible for you. Try to keep the back and neck straight so that in longer terms you won't be affected with a spondylitis, or the cervical problems shall not occur to you. That is important. And take care that your head also is in the level of the shoulders only. Do not allow it to go too much up also or too much down also. Then that will be very helpful for you to focus here. That is very important. Okay, now you all prepare, relax, forget the outside world, it does not really exist. At least for a while, trust me. You can experience one day in your own samadhi practice. Just now you have to believe, you have no choice. So relax, nothing exists. Be at peace. Sitting in any comfortable posture, keeping your back and neck straight. All of you gently close your eyes. Keeping the eyes closed, concentrate your mind and sight in between eyebrows and just keep watching there by focusing the attention. Do not repeat any mantra or name, and do not imagine about anything. Let any thought come. Don't imagine what it is. The day you stop imagining about this world of what this world is, you will have peace. Like that, you don't imagine whatever happens in the mind, thoughts or vision. Just watch and do not open your eyes. Listen, take this as a command from your commander. Do not open your eyes till I recite a prayer and will ask you to open the eyes. Just remain relaxed and feel yourself. May you all be blessed.
Namaste, Babaji.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I was able to sit in pretty much quiet stillness or quietness, but towards the end, my mind started getting active. So should I again try to bring that mind back into the stillness? I mean, I knew that the meditation is coming to an end. That's why my mind is getting active. But normal circumstances, should
Yeah,
I?
you try to bring it quiet means you try to watch in between eyebrows. Do not allow the mind to run after the thoughts. It will start spinning and disappear. So, your job is till the last moment of meditation, you try to keep it there only.
So in between, two words popped up in my mind, and that was Vidhya Swaroopini from Lalita Sahasranama. I would like you to talk about that. But at the same time, I knew that I should not run in that direction. So I was trying to ignore it. But could you talk about that, Nama?
Uh, the Lalita Sahasranama, Shri, the ultimate truth is the form of knowledge, and from there only the knowledge has emerged. To make this knowledge come out, first an ignorance was created, so that as a solution to the ignorance, this knowledge was revealed by the Divine Mother. So that is the basic meaning of it. So we can remember, but not during meditation, you need to avoid any such remembrance, because just watching itself is the actual knowledge. Means we read Vidhya Swaroopini, but instead we go for that Vidya and Vidya Swaroopini. We try to merge with that Swarupa of the divinity.
So no analysis and continue to stay in that.
Continue.
The question I had is, when you say watch, we are watching space, or is that also a part of our imagination that there is space?
You are actually watching space, but do not call it a space anymore. That is the consciousness of existence. That's what you will realize eventually. Space is a word that we have imagined for sake of our communication in this world. Like since childhood, from our school days, we were taught of space, space, space. So anything that appears void, we just call it space. But that space is fully conscious of its existence. It is not an inert, simply void place. So that's why we need to forget or overcome the terminology of space and just see it, watch it.
Thank you.
Pranams, Babaji. I wanted to ask Babaji, when we follow this path of meditation and spirituality, do we gain knowledge as well?
Yes, automatically the knowledge of the self is revealed. So that's what you have to. And on the way towards samadhi, before that, the things about the consciousness which has become mind, its secrets also revealed, how you get fooled by your own imaginations, and then you automatically overcome that, and the actual knowledge awareness is revealed.
Thank you, Babaji.
Today is the first day I started this meditation. I never did it before. I used to do some kind of vipassana earlier, but I was not able to concentrate properly at that moment. So I was looking about Shiva Balayogi from a very long time, but I couldn't able to get a chance to do a meditation. Today is the first day when I did a meditation. I like 45-50 minutes I could able to concentrate, but all of a sudden my body started trembling. And also I started visualizing here at this point by lifting my eyeballs up, but all of a sudden it came down. So is it a proper way I'm doing it?
Yeah, even if it comes down a little bit here is no problem. You just continue to watch in the front portion, whatever is there, without trying to analyze anything. That's important. The trembling happens sometimes when the energy movement is there. So you try to make yourself still, composed as much as possible, and then continue watching, so that you are doing it in a proper way. it requires some time of practice. Overnight, you must not expect any miracles because since time immemorial, mind has gone out of control. It will take some time for it to come back. That is the natural way. That is why we teach dedication, discipline, and patience as the main mantras. Dedication every day, set a priority and practice. That thus you will be dedicating yourself for the cause and remain disciplined to practice at that time every day. Then you will become restless if you don't sit for meditation. When you become practiced like that, then have patience. It will come down. You go on doing without bothering what is happening, whether it is happening or not. Every time you sit, some amount of purification definitely happens, and the gathering also happens. So you just continue. May Shiva Balayogi bless you.
Pranas Babaji. My question is about vairagya and the importance. I feel that when the natural vairagya to all the world happens, this is to practice meditation every time more and more, or I feel that is the grace of the Guru, that is the power of the Guru that gives you this vairagya, natural to all the world.
As you go on doing meditation regularly, progressively, when it happens consistently, you keep practicing, then the Guru's grace also descends. Then vairagya comes. Then mind becomes aware of the impermanence of the body and the world and surrounding. Then the vairagya comes. That vairagya gives you a lot of peace.
So the first question is, when you talk about knowledge and we're supposed to like strive for knowledge and stuff, are you talking about like textbook knowledge, or are you talking about like some other kind of knowledge? Like, how can we know everything in like all the textbooks in the world? And they're not even all evidence-based.
When you experience yourself, that is the first hand knowledge. Till then, reading a book is also recommended. Like we have also produced books and I have written commentaries. They are all to motivate yourself, inspire you, and feel assured that you are on the right path when you read them. But finally, you have to experience this personally. And this also, in the rightful way, it happens when your mind stops all imaginations and when it regains the pure form of consciousness, then the truth is revealed.
Okay, so are you saying like reading textbooks like for medical school or like, I don't know, art school is like pointless? Or like, what do you think?
You can read books, no problem. It's like Guru's Upadesha comes. You will feel inspired and you will feel assured.
What's Upadesha?
Upadesha is teachings.
Okay. All right. Thank you. That's the first question. The second question is, do you think there will be a miracle in the world as you define it?
When you put in efforts, then a miracle can happen. Because miracle has different people may have different definitions. They expect something to happen, and if such a thing happens, they call it miracle. If you see from other point, the truthful point of view, everything is a miracle. Every moment is a miracle happening. Everything that's happening in the universe, appearance of the universe, and it's going round and round. All these things are all miracles. Every resource is a miracle. The earth that is holding with gravity is a miracle. So, like that miracle. But we want miracle means totally all human being totally become peaceful. That has not happened so far. We also used to dream as a child, but we have to put in efforts. If we meditate, if everybody can keep their mind non-violent, then peace descends for humanity.
Okay. Thanks, Babaji. And the third question is, this one is a bit of a stupid one, but like you can laugh at it if you want. You know how you say we're supposed to meditate 1 hour a day, 7 days a week? What if we only meditate like 3 hours maximum a week? Does that mean we're like 3/7 divine? You know what I mean? Like, does it work mathematically?
You see, mind comes under control only that much. So you have to cook a vegetable or bake a bread, suppose, and you tell, okay, now I just want to bake only for 5 minutes. What will happen? It will bake
Yeah.
only for 5 minutes. It will be incomplete.
So it's mathematical. So like you actually have to meditate 1 hour
Yes.
every single day, 7 days.
Yes, you have to.
Okay.
No shortcut.
Okay. Thank you, Babaji. Thanks, Michael.
Pranam Babaji. When I first met you about 15 or 20 years ago, you said something that shocked me so much. It took me about 10 years to come to terms with it. You've been saying something similar now, even though you've been talking about it. I'd like to ask it again because I feel that maybe I'm ready to understand it. It has to do with what happens when we drop the body. And the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says that when we die, we get a new body. It's like changing clothes. But when I change clothes, I don't forget who I am. I've only changed my clothes. And so I'm wondering, you're talking about different aspects of the body drop off and other aspects of the body stay. And so I'm wondering, what aspects of the body are those that drop off and what are those that stay?
You see, now we'll take it in a simple terminologies. The death happens. Death happens means the brain stops functioning and the body is dead. It doesn't function anymore. The consciousness, which is in the form of mind, gets detached from the brain. But if it is holding habits at that time, habits means thinking habits, attitude, all these forms, an ego, desires. Based on that, which form has intensity of thoughts, that consciousness, which used to be the mind in that body, assumes next incarnation, next body, based on its viewing, visualizing, or attitude or thinking. So that's what happens the next incarnation. But it will carry the symbolized, symptomatic way, habits, but it would have forgotten the actual things of the previous life with the death of brain, because brain carries all memory power. You might carry some symptoms which we call it as a basic nature, like an understanding capacity, observation capacity, or watching capacity, thinking capacity, all may differ from person to person. So that is the previous life's practice you are bringing. But you don't know where you were born, in which form you were there, what are the relationship that you all had. This is considered a blessings of the divine, that you have forgotten those things, because in one life itself it is so difficult to manage emotions and all the relationships, things that happen around us. But if you start remembering 50 lives or 100 lives, how many wives you had in every life, how many emotions, how many fights and how many arguments, you will go mad. That is the grace of the divine. It's considered that you have forgotten the past, that is over, it won't come back. So this is how things happen. So now satsanga or meditation is taught so that you can clear your mind of all its habits, all desires, every thought, every imagination must come to an end. That is what is meditation and tapas, burning of its habits. When it is totally clear, when it is totally silent, like when I am talking to you, my inner consciousness is totally silent. It doesn't picturize or dramatize. So once this body one day will get dropped, it will fall when the brain dies after the natural process or whatever it happens. Then there is no rebirth for me as the consciousness, because there is no desire or there is no dearth of any fulfillment that is needed. Everything is done. It is over. It is aware that everything was simply an illusion, my own imagination. My existence is just in the quietness.
There's a Sanskrit term called antahakarana that has
Yeah.
4 parts: manas, mind; chitti, chitta or memory; buddhi, intellect or discrimination; and ahankara, ego. Do all 4 of those go with you into the next life, or do some of them drop off when you drop the body?
No, if you have not meditated properly, if you are carrying the desire, all this will get carried because they are all in the subtle bodies. They will be carried to the next life also. That's what forms the basic nature of a person.
Okay, and one last thing. You mentioned that we don't remember our past lives, but there are people who do remember their past lives.
They are not
And-
true. I will tell you my opinion, human beings are very unreliable. This is my
Okay,
opinion. It cannot happen. Once the brain is dead, the memory is done. Even if anybody tells you you are such and such person in a previous life, such and such place, do not believe. Because the day you achieve samadhi, you will understand this. It's a very mind boggling illusion. When the mind spins, it creates in any way, and that is gone, that is over. All relations are as long as this body exists for you. Once your body goes, all relations are disappear. Only those people who are alive will keep worrying or crying or bothering about those people, departed souls, considering our own people. So that is done so that we pay tributes to the departed souls, remember their good qualities, that is all. More than that, nothing really exists.
There are some top universities that have been doing research into past life memories, and they're able to link the memories with the particular place where the person said they lived and described and all of that. So what is happening there?
Particular place itself does not exist. It is this world itself was an imagined, just like in the dream. After dreaming, when you get up, where was the dream happened? The location itself has disappeared. If it was a drama on a stage, you can tell on this stage only people did the drama. But your dream, you can tell that I dreamt, but where did the dream happen? Like that, this is all illusion. Actually, in truth of spirituality, this is experienced during the samadhi time of experiences. Before the nirvikalp samadhi, all this spinning of the consciousness happens.
Thank you, Babaji.
Pranams, Babaji. My question is, Baba spoke of the mind getting concentrated. That concentration itself, I'm just wondering about how that process takes place, and also whether Baba spoke of the mind gathers, it gathers. Has that any connection to that concentration?
Yeah, mind expands and it can contract, it can become concentrated. But then when it concentrates, it goes on merging with its original all pervaded divinity. That's what happens. Like the concentration now also, externally, you can be aware of next to your who is sitting next to you, and who will be doing something else, and what are all the things there in that room where you are sitting. That means your concentration is split in so many ways. It is split. The day you are able to gather that mind totally 100%, only to the target is there and nothing else appears to you. Sometimes, if keeping the eyes open also, if you steadily watch a photo, or if it is something dearer to you of a divine's photo or something guru's photo, then watch it fully concentrated. When the mind becomes concentrated, after a few seconds, only that photo appears, nothing else appears surrounding you. So that is the concentration and the things getting diluted.
And what is this about the mind gathers? It gathers. Wasn't sure what.
For the mind to become concentrated, I use it as gathers because it is spread in the universe into billions of layers of consciousness as a subtle way, in a infinite way, what you call. So it all comes concentrated. As it comes, it is getting purified, giving up all its habits of imagination, and as it comes, it merges with the self. This happens in a way like an illusion. Nothing really exists, but everything exists. It is nothing physically or in a form that you can see. So when I explain, do not imagine any form that is merging or that is coming. Within that, the space merges with the space. Something like that.
Thank you.
Pranam Babaji. Babaji, my question is that what is the ideal age of a human? Like, for example, from in Atharvaved, there's a mantra which say that we should live for 100 years. But as you know, in current situation, there are very few people who lives up to the age of 100 years. Like mostly die at the age of 60, 70, something, especially in India. So, according to what is the ideal age of a human?
See, idle age is prescribed as 100 only, but as the time have passed by, currently the human thinking quality, their nature, everything has deteriorated, mean in the matter of sincerity. So probably 100 years ago, what our grandfathers or ancestors were getting, the type of food, today, fashionably, we call organic, but none of us are really sure whether it is really organic or what it is. So many chemicals are used to increase the size, to get the shape, to make it the color, and to make it a saleable product in the market. So, even if we are drinking directly from the cow, also, we are not sure whether the cow has eaten the proper things or not. Like that, if we can get the proper diet, and if we keep it to the limited, and if we work manually, labor, strong labor, so then we might be able to live a little bit longer, definitely towards 100, if not 100, at least 80, 90, something like that. But that's the most difficult. Often we get to see in the society people get drawn to junk food and ordering food. Nobody wants to cook at home anymore. They are ready to accept whatever is in the market available. So everything may not be suitable. All the things that are tasty may not be suitable for our physical body. So combining all these things, so ideally it is recommended, if possible, to live 100 years life.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Babaji.
Babaji, my question is, I have read about your dream in The Peace Within, your book, where you have actually described about a dream about Sri Guru Maharaj, Swamiji Maharaj, that he was, in your dream, you actually were stopped by a policeman and you were asked to go by the back door, where in the room the Sri Guru Maharaj was staying, and the police stopped you, that policeman, and then you went inside. Can you please describe about the dream before it's your birthday? It's such an auspicious occasion. I would have been very happy if you could tell me about the dream that you had about Sri Guru Maharaj.
You know, in 1971, February, I had heard about Shiva Balayogi, and in 2 days later that he was coming to Mysore city to give darshan in a public program. Just 1 day before I met him physically, I had this dream. In the dream, it was pitch darkness. I was standing in a queue. Somebody comes and tells me, Swamiji is waiting for you. Come, and takes me through the back door. And Swamiji is sitting on a tiger skin on the erected dais. Then he asks me, what do you want? Probably by a practice in the dream also, I uttered Jnana, Bhakti, Vairagya is what I want. The knowledge, devotion and detachment is what. Then Swamiji gave some vibhuti, he blessed me. Then he uttered this mantra, Om Shivaya, Shivabalayogendraya Parabrahmanaya. Then he blessed me. Then he also gave me one stick, that long stick. He said, "Ki, you keep this. Anything you want in the world, you can get it." Then from my mouth, I tell, "I want Swamiji only." Then Swamiji tells significantly, "If you want God." So I tell, "I want Swamiji only, nothing else in the world." Then he tells, "If you want God, this stick is of no use." Then he takes it back, breaking it into pieces, he throws it away. Then he sends me blessed. Then when I come out, then it is the road and darkness and nobody is present there. Then that policeman stops. "Where are you going? What is happening?" Then Swamiji's voice from inside comes, "Hey, it is my son. Allow him to go. Don't bother him." So that's how the thing happened. So Swamiji blessed that when I got up in the morning, my mouth was chanting Om Shivaya Shivabalayogindraya Parabrahmanaya. So that's how the dream happened. Though the dream is a dream, but it was the mind status, probably of the previous life's connection, something. So I chanted and that gave me all blessings and I achieved Swamiji.
Gurudev, in this context, I would like to have another question, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Gurudev, in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I have just read that when Swami Vivekananda as Narendra before his this thing in journey in sannyasa, he came to Sri Ramakrishna and Sri Ramakrishna touched on his heart by his hand, and suddenly Sri Narendra, that is Swami Vivekananda, looked at him and said, "What have you done to me? I have parents. I have to go back to samsara." What is the meaning of that? Because he had a glimpse or what?
Yeah, Vivekananda was ready. His mind was very much ripe, totally concentrated. But he was intellectual also. He wanted to know everything through his intelligence only. So Ramakrishna was very witty and the wisest teacher, a very great master. So whatever suitable to Vivekananda's temperament, he did all such things so that Vivekananda can understand the truth of the Guru's grace. So he was ready for that. But mentally, he wanted to go back home and he had a home, he wanted to look after them. But inside, it was a spiritually ripe soul that Thakur knew about this. That's when he touched and blessed him.
Shri Babaji. So I've been meditating for a long time, and I learnt the technique from Shiva Balayogi when he came to London in 1980s. And I found the technique very difficult. So I continued to meditate on the breath, which is what I'd been doing previously, and I continue to do that for some time. But more recently, I have been able to concentrate here. And what's happening is there's sort of energy around the head. And I just wondered what that was, because this has happened over the last few months, and I've been meditating much more. And it's not just when I'm meditating, but any time when I'm sitting, I can just sort of feel this energy here and sometimes in other parts of the body.
One thing, what I am surprised is, this is the technique which we are teaching, what Shiva Balayogi always taught. Even in 1980s when he came to London first time in 1987. That's what we remember. But he would have taught only the same technique, just to watch in between eyebrows. That was what he always taught. He never taught to watch the breath actually. Though pranayama, if one wanted to do, they could do it before meditation and then do the silent meditation. This is one thing. The next to your experience of energy present. See, energy is simply all pervaded. When the mind becomes concentrated, it tries to lift the body consciousness also. So that is when the body feels energy movement all over. Sometimes if it is concentrated upwards, so you are likely to feel that energy presence there in a concentrated way. So that is a very beautiful experience. You continue with the practice of the meditation. Swamiji Shivabalayogi's grace will always be upon you. He will bless you to develop more. You are quite advanced, you are blessed, and you continue with that meditation.
Thank you, Babaji.
So Babaji, we have a couple of questions have been sent in, if I can ask you them.
Yes.
The first one is, how can one cultivate devotion to one's guru?
By having a firm faith and by loving the Guru, love unconditionally. When you love unconditionally, you will not have any reservations, you will not have any doubts, you will not bother anything. You will love the Guru for sake of love only. No other condition. You should not be loving so that he can give you 100,000 pounds. You just love for sake of love, that's all. Whether he loves you or not is also must not matter. You love him because you want to love him. That is all. So when you adopt this attitude, even if any test comes, even if the master tests you, you just go on loving the master. That is all you have to do. So then you can cultivate that devotion. You automatically become devoted. When you are devoted, you will follow his teachings as if you are following the command of your commander. Then you will be benefited. Then you can achieve the self-realization and meditation's success one day.
Thank you, Babaji. So this following the Guru and loving the Guru is even stronger than the desire for realization?
If you love him, so that should be stronger than the realization also. Then automatically the Guru's grace will descend and you will get the realization. It will not be a separate identity, a self-realization wanting, and only for sake of self-realization only you love. If you simply love for sake of love, one day Guru's grace will descend and self-realization will come to you.
Thank you, Babaji. Another question. While meditating, I'm not able to silence the mind. So is the meditation still helpful and useful? I'm following the rule of discipline, dedication, and practice.
Definitely, this will one day help you to silence the mind. As I told, dedication, discipline, and patience are important mantras you must remember always. If you are dedicated without foregoing, you must meditate every day. As if you are there, you need it. Set a priority and practice this. Then discipline every day without fail. At that time you practice. You must become restless if you don't sit. Then you sit. Try to understand the technique that has been given. Watch means what it means. Closing the eyes, you just watch means when you are watching, you don't try to think, means you don't try to analyze anything that is coming in the mind. Any thought or vision might be coming. Let it happen. It is the garbage being thrown out. You just watch. When you are watching, slowly, gradually, you will stop thinking. When you stop thinking slowly, the thoughts and visions also disappear and the mind becomes silent. This is what you need to understand and continue practicing. Every time you sit, meditation will be beneficial. Some amount of purification will definitely happen. Slowly, one day you will catch it.
Thank you, Babaji. And the last question that's been sent in. Has Babaji got any comments on intermittent fasting?
Fast a little bit that you can. Do not starve yourself too much. And when you are fasting, you must take care that your mind has the patience. It must not become irritated or lose the temper, so that you don't show the temper on anybody else. You must be in yourself. That is the idea that is important. Do not fast the whole day is not necessary. Instead, after some, until you do the puja or worship or sadhana, you fast. After that, you eat a little bit instead of eating a full neck full of food. Instead, you eat a smaller meal and then continue. You will feel light also. You will be happy mentally. So you want to fast as much as you can fast comfortably, you fast. Don't starve too much unnecessarily.
Pranam Babaji. I'm very sorry. I missed the first couple of minutes when you were speaking this morning, and I do apologize. But you were speaking about some of the sufferings that arise during the world, whether it's tsunamis or whatever. And the same, I'm sure, would apply to illnesses and things. When one has something difficult, the natural feeling seems to be, gosh, I must have done something very bad in my last life. Okay, and you sort of feel, oh, why has this happened? But it doesn't have to be like that, does it? I mean, it can be that the guru is setting you something to face and overcome. It's like a challenge, as opposed to being remorseful and thinking, gosh, what could I have done? I mean, there can be a positive side to it, can there?
Exactly. It is like a psychological treatment depending on the temperament of a person. So either you talk in the present, a thing has happened, it has happened. You just accept and face the challenge and try to live in the present moment and try to think what you have to do next. For that only, first important thing is you have patience. Then you will be able to think properly. If you lose patience, the mind becomes confused, and then you try to keep hitting each and everyone, whoever is responsible, who did this to me, what happened to me, what did I do, all these things keeps cropping up. So just to console the mind, to bring it to the coolness, again another definition is given. Maybe you had done something wrong in your previous life. Cool down, it's okay. So that is how the destiny word also is used. So if you are used to thinking positively in the present, accept it, this has happened. So now let us face and let us think how to overcome this. Wonderful. I deeply appreciate all your participation and all my love and blessings. Some very wonderful questions came up, giving me an opportunity to share my experiences and opinions.